Paranormal. Para-X. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para-X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. UFOs. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The Calling.
And good evening, everyone. It is me, Kim. Jerry is not with us today. He's out there probably gallivanting in the sunshine. Well, it's probably dark already, but he's probably out there doing his thing, eating Doritos, I think. Anyways, so it's me and Willow today. Hi, Willow. How are you?
I'm great, Kimberly. How are you today?
Good, good, good. I am so excited. Yeah, this is going to be a good show, Willow. I hope we do good.
I think we're going to do great. Yeah.
Yeah. So today, so what have you been up to? Let's talk about that first.
Oh, well, what have I been up to? Cleaning. Because Samhain, Halloween, but Samhain for all pagans and witches, that's
Right.
our new year. So it's the time of cleaning out and starting fresh. So I have been literally purging furniture and stuff and
Really?
for 3 days, just cleaning ever since
That's
my power
awesome.
came back on.
I know. How was that? You were out of power for a couple of days.
Yeah, about 48 hours. I was one of the lucky ones. There are some people that still don't have it or they just got it on yesterday. So, yeah, we got almost a Cat 3 here. It was supposed to be a Cat 1, so none of us worried. And then they said, it might be a Cat 2, and it came out to being like 1 mile an hour short of a Cat 3.
Holy buckets. That is not good.
No
bueno.
I had stuff uprooted, and it was a mess. So, been
Aw.
cleaning outside too.
Yeah, I didn't do much either. We really didn't go anywhere for Halloween because Halloween was on a Saturday, but it was so freaking windy, super windy. So we couldn't really do anything. So it's like, oh well, we'll make up for it though.
Yeah.
We usually do. So anyway, so today we decided to talk about what, Willow?
Energy healing.
Ooh, energy healing. So is this like typically, are we talking about like in general? Because what I found out today, there is 77 different types of healing, which I'm pretty sure there's probably a lot more than that. But it's all like physical, mental, crystals. I mean, they're talking auras and body and mind and different types of healing. I mean, we could have like on all these healings, on these different healings, we could probably use for each month, for a show. You know what I mean? Because there's so many of them. I was just so blown away on that. And so today, though, we are going to talk about Reiki healing and shaman. And shaman is on my list, as a matter of fact. So
Cool.
So, and I'm going to pick your brain because you are a shaman healer, and you also do crystal healing, right? What is it that you do? Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm a Reiki master. I have been for 20 some years now. Long time.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I started out as a shamanic healer, and I was taught by a shaman way back in the early 90s. And so that's where I started, and I learned about energy and how to use it to heal the body, mind, and spirit. And then 1996, 97 is when I started with Reiki. And so with that, it was like, it's different because it's using the chi energy, the universal energy we're all made of. And so that's the difference. Shamanic healing is using your own physical energies to help break up and pull out dis-ease, because it's dis-ease, out of the body. And then with Reiki, it's more of a sending the chi in. So we pull it in through our crown chakra into our heart and out our hands. And that's how we help the people. So it's like, so that's the two different ways.
So it's using your energy like through chakra, and then you push it into your whoever. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, Reiki, we do not use our own energy. We use the universal energy, and we pull that in. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the easier way, because now we're not using any of our own energy, so we don't get depleted. Yeah.
Okay. So see, that's interesting to me. So, I mean, what made you start doing that? What made you start thinking, okay, this is something I really like? What made you start thinking,
Well, it's kind of interesting, because when I first started with shamanic healing, I had gone into a bookstore and they were having this energy class. And I thought, I'll sign up for that. I was trying to learn as much as I could. And it happened to be a shaman teaching the class. And as he walked in, we were all sitting in a circle. And he looks at me and he goes, whoa, your energy field is like way over here. And he was like 6-7 feet away from me. And I'm like, is that a bad thing? I didn't know. I said, I'm sorry. I'll pull that in. I didn't know.
Here, let me cover that up.
I didn't mean to offend you. And he goes, no, it's like you're a natural healer. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't even know what I was in this class for, And then he started to teach us and how to use the energies and then pull out the whatever we found on the person and pull that out and ground it. And it was very interesting. And I'm like, oh, and it was so natural to me. And I had already worked with stones and crystals and things like that, but I never used my own energy to do any healing work. So it was interesting. Yeah. And that's how I got started. Right. But it was very draining.
Oh, I bet. Well, I think a lot of that type of work, even if a doctor and nurse, because I think that's part of healing as well, when a doctor and a nurse, and I think it's draining just for them to, trying to help somebody. I think a lot of the energy in the earth is something that you work with, and I really believe that. So when I learned about healing, I learned on hands healing. So I use a lot of my hands to heal. So, and when I first discovered I could do this was, I used to be in full-blown, when I was younger, in Christian type of environment and stuff like that. But I started using the Bible because I kept reading about healing, and I started reading just on the Bible about healing. And that's when I learned that if it's like group healing, like, so I used my children like to help heal. Like one time my aunt, I know it sounds bizarre, but even my aunt told me that she felt different after we prayed for her. And we just stood there in a group and held hands and started praying for my aunt. We used it as a focus, her as a focus and everything. I know it sounds bizarre, but a lot of people believe in prayer and healing.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, so and that's
weird,
actually in and that's actually one of the ones that are in the 77 types of healing, which I truly, again, believe that there's a lot more than that. But so we were able to do that. So after that, I started learning about hands-on and how your different energies, that you could use your hands and use other people's hands to soak up their energy or to put energy through to help heal. So I've done that in the past with other people. So that's part of my thing, is healing and prayer, a lot of prayer too. So so I just think it's interesting on how much is out there of different types of healing and stuff like that. So like when you get started in everything, Willow, I mean, what do you do? So it's going to be different people that have different things. Like, what have you done in the past? Like, people say, oh, I feel like this, or I feel like that. What have you done? I'm not saying like you don't have to describe everything, because I know it's private,
right.
But just the things that can be out there. Like, tell me what you've done, like, to help heal stuff.
When I first started, I was living in Tucson, Arizona when I started with Reiki.
Okay.
And at that point, we had started, I was part owners of a metaphysical shop at that time. And we would do a Reiki healing circle every Friday. So anybody that needed healing could come and get on the massage table, the Reiki table, and we would all stand around. We were all, and some weren't Reiki masters or healers. They just used the hands-on energy work because we all have that ability. And so we would all take turns, on the table if we felt we needed healing.
Right.
But as that went on, I was asked to go into hospitals to help, do Reiki on patients that were friends of mine. And so I would visit the hospitals. And while I was there, sometimes I'd be pulled into another person's room that I did not know to, help heal them as well. And I've seen such miraculous things just from Reiki itself.
Right.
I did have a client once, and this one really, I guess, this is the one that blew me away. I had a client who had had a major stroke. This man had been a brilliant engineer. He, at this point with his stroke, he could no longer speak or walk. He could still use his hands, and he would be communicating by writing things on like a dry erase board. That's how he communicated with us. And he had to have a walker in order to get around. And I got him on the table, and I started working with him, and my guide started to show me that he had a black mass at the back of his head. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. There's still blockage. And so I started using both the shamanic healing and the Reiki. I combined them both. So I used the Reiki to kind of blast energies into that area. And then I used the shamanic healing to pull it out and ground it. And I worked on him for probably an hour, maybe a little longer than that. And when he was done, and he was an older gentleman, and his wife was waiting, and she had to help him because it was in the basement of a friend's house where I was doing this. And so she was going to have to help him get back upstairs. And when we were done, I felt like, well, I did as much as I could. My guide showed me what I needed to do. And so I told him, I said, be careful when you get up. Go slow, and I'll get your wife, and we'll get you back upstairs. Now, this man could not speak when he got on my table. Okay, remember that? And he sat up, and he looked at me, and he goes, I don't need her help now.
Really?
He spoke. Yeah, he spoke to me. And he couldn't speak when he got on that table. And I'm like, but, okay, so you can talk. That's amazing. I thought, at least we got that,
Right.
And then he hopped off the table.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
He pushed the walker away and walked up the stairs using the railing.
That's crazy.
It was like so amazing to watch that. And that wasn't my energy. That was the universal energy. I was just the wiring, just the conduit, right?
You're you're the connector. Yeah,
that's it. But to watch that miracle, that was that was mind blowing. So I will never forget that client ever.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So
it's
hold on. I know we
thing.
have. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, especially when you see something like that, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, that person just gets up. So Steph asked, Willow, do you use shamanic healing and combine it with Reiki healing, which you just probably answered? So
Yes, I do.
So let's see if there's anybody else. I'm trying to look at all the questions. Hi, everyone. Everybody's saying hello.
Hello.
So anyways, so let's see. So, so not only like helping others. I mean, I just believe in it full blown. Like, I truly believe in hands-on healing. I truly believe in mind healing. There was a couple of them that I noticed that were kind of different. Do you know what biofeedback is? Have you ever heard of that?
I have. I'm not really well versed in it.
Okay. So biofeedback is when you use your mind with a picture. So say a beautiful picture or surrounding things of water, it actually feeds good energy through your mind and helps you heal.
Oh,
And so
interesting.
I think it is very interesting on how you can, on the way it's called, biofeed. So it's like you're using a picture to put in your mind to help heal or to relax you or to help anxiety or any type of thing like that. So
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. And of course, there's lots of healing like herbs and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's go back to so I'm just trying to read a couple of them to you guys while we're talking to Willow about the way she does her Reiki healing and stuff like that. So also, like, I mean, what's the latest you've done and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I feel like this didn't work. And then all of a sudden someone comes to you and says, you know what, Willow, I just feel like that's happened to you.
Yeah, it has. I'm like, well, did what I could. Hopefully it worked out. They feel something,
Yeah. And so how did you feel? And then all of a sudden that person comes back and says, well, guess what?
Yeah. It was funny because I had somebody who was visiting town and they had back issues and hip issues, like so bad. They're like for most of their adult life, they used a cane. And this poor person had been walking around the city sightseeing and they were in so much pain by the time they come to see me. And we were just sitting down to have a reading. And I started telling her about Reiki. And so I didn't even get the table out. I basically just did a chair kind of healing on her back. And, so she was still having some issues when she left. But she said the next day she contacted me and she's like, oh my God, Willow, your hands, they've healed me. And I'm like, no. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Right.
So get that out of your head. But it was really awesome because I had no clue that anything was going to work. I'm like, because it was only like a 5-minute healing.
Right. I can kind of get that. I see okay, so here we go. Hold on. I'm looking at everybody's, oh my gosh. Karen is saying that I'm having deja vu. So can you trance heal? That actually, Sherry, that is one of the healing that's on here. They actually says that you can heal somebody just by using your mind, and they could be in a different place and using your mind to help heal that person. So yes, there is something called like that. So can you do that, Willow?
What I call it is like distance healing.
Exactly.
And so,
that's exactly what it's called.
I go into a meditative state. And actually, I've been offering this for a long time that on Sunday nights, if anybody needs, healing, I have a healing list and I'll just take their names and maybe what's been they've been going through, or if they just need emotional healing or physical healing, or if they have another person in their family they want healing for. And I'll sit for an hour and I will name off all the names. And I, call in my Reiki guides and the divine healing energy. And I just sit there and send out Reiki to everybody on the list. And so, yeah, I do that a lot. I've worked with clients even across the ocean, across the pond in England. And I've done healing work for them. And I said, this time of day, this is what we're going to do. Put yourself in a quiet place. I'm going to send you healing. And I want you to be open to receive it. And they felt it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It does work.
So then Steve B says, have you ever heard of healing touch? Yes. I've heard of that. So that's kind of like so I've done that in the past. So I've done it where you just put your hands over someone and kind of put your energy towards them, but good energy, of course. And then I kind of like sit there and think about how, trying to heal that person, like say, well, I'll put this situation. My mom was very sick one time and she had this really bad headache. So I told her, Mom, let me do some healing on you, hands healing. And she goes, really, honey? And I said, yeah, let me try it. So I tried it and I put an amethyst on her forehead for the headache part and her neck pain. So I did that, and then I brought it down and used my hands and kind of cupped around her head and tried to put that vibe to her and stuff. And then, so then all of a sudden she relaxed so much, she fell asleep. So I just left her. And then I put the amethyst on her chest while she slept. And she didn't even realize she knocked out. And she knocked out for a very long time. She thought it was like 10 minutes. That's what she thought.
Yeah.
So when she woke up and realized, oh my God, I fell asleep, she goes, but I have no headache. You know, I thought that was pretty cool. So yes, I have tried that. Willow, how about you?
Well, yeah, well, that's kind of the Reiki as well.
Mhm.
But I have a real cute story. When I was doing the Reiki circles way, way back, my grandson, my first grandson, who is now like 25, 26 years old, but he was 5 years old at the time. Okay. And he wanted to come with me to do this healing. I'm like, okay. So I taught him with Reiki, when you put your hands, you put them like you have your hands in socks. You don't keep your thumbs out. I said, socks, not mittens. And he always remembered that. So he'd go,
Okay.
Grandma, I'm ready. Let's go.
Oh, cute.
And so whoever got on the table, this little guy would put his hands right on them and send him all the energy he could. And one time, one of the people that were on the table, Jordan was my grandson, was down by their leg, and they said, I felt like my leg was levitating. They didn't know he was there.
Really?
He was sending so much energy to them that it felt like their leg was levitating. And so he's just like this natural little healer. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then his grandfather, my first ex-husband, came to visit his mom and him. And he had a headache, talking about headaches. And Jordan walks over, I'll heal your headache, Grandpa. And he just kind of looked at my daughter, and she goes, no, really, Mom taught him how to do this. And he's like really now skeptical because he thinks, oh, my ex-wife's a crazy woman. And Jordan puts his hands on both sides of his head for just like 5 minutes, and his headache was gone. He goes, how did he do that? How did he do that?
That's awesome.
But he's like, he's always that natural.
Right. Children are natural healers because they don't have all this mumbo jumbo stuff, from the universe that causes, clogs and stuff like that, which, because we see everything. So children are innocent, and they're more powerful than what other people think that they are,
And they're naturally wanting to help others.
Oh,
they don't care who you are.
And everything. Right. Oh, yeah, full-hearted and everything. So, I truly believe in that. So let me see if there's any more. Healing touch is not Reiki. Reiki. How do you pronounce it? Reiki. Reiki. And then it says some insurance companies do not cover healing touch. Right. I think a lot of them don't, though. That's Steve B. He says that. Stephanie says that's awesome, Willow. What else? Healing doesn't. So, anyways, so I'm sorry, my dogs are barking. Sorry, guys.
My neighbor's dog was barking too. I'm like, what is going on with all the dogs?
Right. They're all sending out their little barks out there together, I guess. Anyways, so then there's things called. So then we talked about biofeed. So I'm talking about a few of these things that are listed. There's also botanical medicines. There's breathe work. So like if you're breathing in and out to calm down, or there's chakra balance, which are using the chakra colors like the beads that you have or necklaces that you use, and chakras like your crown and everything. So that's what they're talking about. Let's see, breathe work, Chinese herbs. And Chinese herbs are way different compared to the herbs that we use here. So their Chinese medicine is way different, and it's very proven fact that it works. See, Chinese herbs, cryopracticing. So I guess because it is using, so one time I do have to say this. One time I did go to a chiropractor, and they were supposed to help my back because I was in so much pain. And they kept just using like hand touching. They wouldn't really even touch my back. So I was thinking that they were gonna, do like the pushing and everything. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do it at all. So I thought that was kind of odd of her. But anyways, so there's even, of course, hypnosis. There is color therapy. So like in colors, you can heal through colors. Let me see if anybody else says anything. Breathing, closing your eyes, right, Steph? Willow's, what do you think of dowsing rods?
Dowsing rods.
That's something that, so that's
Yes.
Steve B. asking about that.
Well, I use, for me, I use the dowsing rods mostly when I'm doing paranormal investigations. However, there are healers that can use them to help pinpoint areas on the body of what needs to be healed. I will use my pendulum when I'm working, especially to make sure that every one of the chakras are open. I will go through and scan them with the energies just with my hands to see if I feel any blockages. But I've also gone back through with the pendulum to make sure they're all opened. If they're going one way or the other, it'll tell me if they're all open. Because when I do like a full-blown healing session, I will do chakra balancing. I make sure that, I scan the bodies for anything that they need to have, worked on. I also
isn't there chakra clearings like a cleansing type?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do all of it. I like open them, clear them, balance them. And then I have this thing, and it's just a special, I guess it's a gift that I have or a curse. I'm not really sure which, because
that's funny you say that.
I get the pain, whatever they have going on in their body, I'll get a pain in that section of my body. And then when we're all done, I'll put extra healing on that spot. And then when we're done, I'll talk to them. I'll say, what's going on with your lower left side? Have you been having some issues? And sure enough, or my hand starts hurting, have you been having issues with your hands? And every single time they're like, yes, I've been having a lot of issues. I said, well, I gave it extra healing. So hopefully, that's, going to help. But
that's interesting.
So it's good and it's bad. It's kind of like I feel pain. I'm like, ow, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way. That's so weird that you say that, Willow. So, okay, here we got some more questions. Hold on. Okay. Let's see. So they're talking amongst themselves. Stephanie, feeling the energy flow. Well, what do you think about dowsing rods? It says, this is the night that's awesome. Warm, beautiful stars. Spirits all around us. That's what Karen is saying. Sherry is saying, do you do healing, Stephanie? So she's talking to Steph. And then Stevie B says, what is divine using pendulums and dowsing rods? So I guess you just answered that, Willow.
Yeah.
And then Steph asked, Willow should teach online classes for this. That's something to think about.
Well, I do teach classes, but they're not online.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
well,
I do hold classes. Yeah. I recently I do private sessions with classes to teach Reiki, but I've also done classes of up to 5 people, and I'll do the class, and then I'll do the attunements, and then that's for like Reiki 1, Reiki 2, and then we go into the master class. So yeah, I do all of those.
Okay, that's pretty cool. See, there you go. You should do it online then, Willow. That way I can come to class.
The problem is I can't do a long distance attunement. And so I can teach you about it, but I can't give you the attunement for Reiki. So I could teach energy work. I could teach that, but I like to be able to pass that fine tuning, get your station tuned in just right so that you can have a clear channel for healing.
Well, that'll be a good excuse for me to go to Louisiana.
There you go.
Anyways, so yeah. So I'm seeing it's almost time for a break. So I don't know if we should just go on break because it's already time, I'm assuming. Yep. So let's do it. Let's go on break and we'll be back right after this.
In order for the light to shine so brightly, the darkness must be present. Tune in every Monday at 10 o'clock The Dark Sun Rising on the Para-X Radio Network.
It is the secret of the world that all things subsist and do not die, but only retire a little from sight and afterwards return again. Nothing is dead. People find themselves dead and endure the mock funerals and mournful obituaries. And there they stand, looking out the window, sound and well, in some new and strange disguise. This secret must be told to the world, and they must tell it. Because they're not dead, we know this, and we'll prove it. So join Mike and Dave every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central for the Odyssey Files. Only on Para-X.
What happens to a ghost when their home is torn down? No one thinks of the disembodied when they rip down old buildings, dig up cemeteries, and build clean, unhauntable condos. Every year, hundreds of spirits are driven out of their own haunts by the careless living to exist alone with no one to scare. At Para-X Radio, our hosts feel the plight of these evicted disembodied, and we're reaching out to you to please open your heart to one of these lost souls, such as the ghost soldier of the General Wayne Inn or the abandoned spirit cat of Benjamin Rush. So please, please, let a little spooky into your life. Won't you open your house to a ghost without a home?
Para-X.
We're back. Hello, everybody. So we are here. I first want to talk about all the Para-X radio shows that you can listen to because they got some great shows. That's all I have to say. We have just gonna shout out to some of these ones that are like Odyssey Files, Monday at 6 p.m. I think it's a 2-hour show from what I understand. I didn't even know that, but it's a great show, and that's with Mike and Dave, and they talk about everything under the sun. We also have The Gathering with Stephanie and Heidi, of course, and they talk about everything under the sun, from paranormal to metaphysical to psychics and mediums and everything else. So join them, and that's every Tuesday at 7 p.m. I hope I'm saying this right, Steph. And then we also, don't forget, at the end of our show, we have Geeks Paranormal. These are crazy ladies, and they are also fun. Love listening to their shows, and we are back. So I do want to talk about, did I do that good, Jerry? I hope, give me a thumbs up. And so here we go. So, it skipped my, so we wanted to ask also, I'm looking at the questions. Sherry asked about auras and seeing auras. And actually, Sherry, that is also on the 77 different types of healing. Auras are one of them. So, Willow, do you ever see auras or anything like that? Or maybe don't see an aura where you can help people with their auras?
I'm more of the feeling of the energy field around someone when I'm doing healing work. When it comes to auras, I can see an aura, but I don't see the colors. I don't see the colors with my eyeballs. Okay. But in my third eye, I will sense a color. Okay.
Now, is that the same when you see like just the energy around somebody? Like, can you see that? Because it's not a color. You just see it looks kind of like, you know how when you look in a road and it kind of has that heat signature off the road, but it's around a person. Yeah. So is that kind of what that is in a sense?
Yeah. And some people can see full colors when they look at a person, but that's not one of my gifts. I can see the aura, and I can see how large the field is around someone, whether it's strong or weak, but I don't see the colors with my eyes. But I do sense colors. And I don't know why, but I'll just think, you're feeling yellow, to me, or I'm sensing a green color or blue or whatever I'm feeling. But some people can see full-blown colors.
Right. I'm going to, that you're talking about this and how you could see. So one time I remember seeing this on Ghost Hunters once. They used, I don't know if it was Ghost Hunters or something. It was some kind of paranormal show, but they were using like a flare to see colors in people's spirit, I guess, their aura, or maybe their energy. So they were seeing like this energy when somebody would get angry or when somebody would get mad. My friend tried it, and it really did work. You could see the different types of signature, like a cooler signature or warm signature, or when she was thinking of something really bad, she started kind of giving off like a reddish, pinkish color. I know it sounds bizarre, but I thought that was pretty interesting that you could probably, you could do that. I don't know if it was maybe the machine, just maybe trying to focus on that type of.
Well, I mean, you can use Carillion photography. They do have the Carillion, cameras that can look at your aura field and take photos of it to show you the color. So I would imagine they probably come up with other types of things that they could use to do that by now.
I just thought that was pretty interesting, just to, just when she would think of something and it would kind of trigger her a little bit, her whole aura or just the coolness of her body, it would just heat up because she's thinking of something that really, I just thought it was interesting. So I don't know if it really works. I would like to try it. I'm just saying. So let's see what else. Auras says, Steph says, I do not, but I certainly feel energy and know how to use to calm, for example. Who else? Distance and tuning. You can distance attune people.
And some people do. Okay. And I've seen online, there are some Reiki masters that claim they can do distance attunements. I myself was taught through the Usui method, and we do not do distance attunements. We have to have the person right there. The student gets the class, and then it's a hands-on attunement, because what we are doing is implanting the Reiki symbols into their crown chakra and into both of their palms of their hands. And I can't do that from a distance because I'm literally drawing the symbol and tapping them in. So I couldn't do that at a distance.
Okay.
So I don't know how they're doing this. I know some people do, but I cannot.
Okay.
I was not trained like that.
So I would just want to ask you, so let's say an average person will come up to you and say, hey, I think I want to become a Reiki master healer or whatever. How would you tell them how to start? Or would you even know and say, this is something that's not for you? Or can you sense something like that, Willow?
Actually, if somebody states the fact that they want to learn it, they're being drawn to learn it. And I would never stand in the way of somebody that came to me and said, I really want to be a Reiki practitioner. Okay. Well, let's sit you down. Let's teach you what I can teach you. Right. I've never turned a student away. Okay. So, I think that's important. If a teacher is turning you away, but that's what you're being drawn or being told you need to learn, then you find another teacher, because you should never be turned away.
Okay. Yeah. So say like with me, how I want, I already know I can do on-hand healing. I know I could do it with no doubt about it. What could you say to me that'll encourage me to what else could I do to be out there? I'm sure people would want to know what else could there be that I could probably, could do something different too.
Right. Well, there's a lot of things you could try, but with Reiki, it's probably one of the more popular ones. So it might be easier to find a Reiki teacher than, another type of modality. Like, I don't know if you could find a shaman to teach shamanic healing. I'm sure you could, but it might be a little bit more difficult in maybe more rural areas. But it's like Reiki practitioners everywhere. It really became really popular.
Yeah, it does.
Which is great, because that was the whole goal, to make as many healers out there as possible. And that's why I don't turn anybody away. And even if they're only healing themselves, that's fine. Because when you're like Reiki 1, you have to be in person with somebody to actually give them the healing energy. Reiki 2, then you can learn how to do distance healing. But if all they are doing it for is to heal themselves, or maybe just to use it for their family, That's awesome. You can do Reiki on your food to make it healthier. You can put it on your medicines to make them work
Really?
better. Yeah, you can use them on animals. I've been giving Reiki to my animals ever since I got my, Reiki attunements. I even worked at a horse track one time doing the race horses, just giving them Reiki healing on their legs or whatever they were having issues with.
Right, right. That's interesting. Oh, there's other question. Let's see. Geeks. I had a friend that could give me energy if I was tired, if I was sad. Whoops. If I was sad, he would try to take. Let's see. If I were tired or if I were sad, he would try to take it away from me. But I told him that my walls were too hard to tear down, so I needed to drop them. I didn't, and still don't know how to do that. That's what Geeks Paranormal is saying. What else? Ooh, gosh, everybody's talking. I got to catch up, guys. Sorry. My mom actually spelled my name. Okay, so they're talking amongst each other. It says, get an aura picture taken of Willow. Steve B wants to know what your aura looks like. It's probably like rainbow. I know a shaman healer.
Yeah.
And his is a rainbow. I'm literally saying rainbow. I think it's
wow.
amazing. Yeah, so.
Who knows what mine looks like lately?
Have you ever had your picture taken?
I have
for the
not.
Auras? Oh,
I've never done it. No. I've been told what colors I am, but I've never had Kirlian photography.
Oh, interesting. So what is your color then?
Generally, people are seeing a lot of purple.
Oh, really?
Purples and lavenders, yeah.
Okay. And that's a good color, too. That's a good healing color as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, anyways, I just think, healing is everywhere. It's just an amazing, amazing types of healing. Like, there's still, like, crystal healing, of course. Cupping is a healing.
I've seen that done, but that's mostly with massage. And it's to really get blood flow and things like that. And I wouldn't really consider that I wouldn't consider it an energy work.
Right. This is just 77 types of healing is what I'm reading.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah. So there's, of course, diet, like food, like your diet, you can base on like being vegan or some type of herb eater that eats more like herbs and stuff to heal their body from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, yin and yang, of course. Distance healing was one of the ones we were talking about. Divine healing. So what is divine healing to you, Willow?
Well, so I look to my deity as the divine source or the divine mother, the all that is, our creator, basically. And you can say it's God, I just say divine source.
Right.
But for me, when I tap into that energy, because she has given me another symbol that I use when I do my Reiki healing that has kind of raised it to the next level of energy. And so when I say divine healing, that is the all that is, our creator energy being used in a healing.
Okay.
Asking for their assistance.
Right. Okay. That sounds good. I like that. Also, like in mine, which divine healing is like Raphael, who is a healer. So I would ask for the Saint Raphael to come down to help heal a person or me or whatever. Also, it says, let's see. I think that's it on questions. So I think divine healing is really good. There's also emotional healing. There's energy healing. So energy healing, would that be the same as what you're doing as Reiki?
Well,
healing?
yeah. Energy healing is any modality that is using chi, using the meridians, using the ethereal energy body. So that's energy work. And so, so mostly what I do is the energy work. Crystals also, like crystals and stones, have energy, and we can use those to heal, or we can use them with other modalities like Reiki and shamanic healing, just to use, extra energies to heal the body. And when we're healing, also, you have to remember, we're healing mind, body, and spirit. So a lot of times, it's like, I'm not going to say that everybody will be healed, because technically, if your subconscious mind does not want to be healed, you will not accept the healing. So I felt people like push it away, even though they're telling me they needed it.
Right.
And I've had that situation. So I always ask, is there any blockages? Is there any reason why you don't want to be healed?
People are like that even when you read them. They just, they just block you out, and they're not realizing you're not receiving what you're trying to send to them. And they're not realizing it's not going to work if you don't accept it. You know what I mean? So, and that is true through your mind and body, so go ahead.
And I started learning a new technique. I've been working on this, using muscle testing. I don't know if anybody's heard of muscle testing, but you can use it standing there with your eyes closed and ask a question. If you lean forward, it's a yes. And if you go backward, it's a no. But basically, it's muscle testing. You can also hold an arm out, and if somebody tries to push it down, asking a question. If it goes down easily, then it's a no. And if it stands straight, then it's a yes. And you can actually work with your emotions, because like sometimes we could have an emotion back from when we were a child that we're holding on to that's now causing a dis-ease in our bodies. Okay. And so I'm working with that, learning how to do the muscle testing and learning how to figure out what it is that they could be holding on to using the muscle testing as a yes or no. It's almost like the body becomes a pendulum, for the yes or no. And then using magnets, we can erase that emotion and help them clear it. So that's one of the new modalities that I'm trying to learn. It's called the emotion code.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Also, let's see. Sherry says angel healing. Yes, angel healing. That's right, Sherry. That's actually on this too, on this 77. I don't know where I got this up, but I was like, wow, I didn't even know there was that many. There's also healing words, healing touch, healing stones, healing quotes. Something that you say positive to somebody helps bring up their spirits, helps, I mean, even when it was just amazing, like when my uncle was passing, even though he was passing and he knew he was passing, he could tell. And I would just say, Uncle, you're doing good. You're fine. If you need to go, you can go. Everything's going to be all right. I'm trying to explain to him. Just that helped him more to relax and to receive wherever he was going, to his new place. And I think sometimes that can even help. Or when someone's in a coma and you're talking to them and you're telling them, come on, honey, you can get up. You can get up, get out of that funk, get away from there. That's what a lot of this healing talk is, healing. What did I just say? Oh my gosh. Like healing words, I would say, like empower, like power, healing, faith, love. Those are healing words. So I think that's pretty interesting. So, what else do you do, Willow? You got so much on you. Like, I can imagine you probably get tired all the time. You're just throwing out your energy, trying to help people. I think it's amazing, though. I really do.
Well, I think a lot of times just talking with somebody and listening to them to see what they need. Sometimes we just need a nice ear to listen to us, and give us some of that encouragement, because a lot of times we don't have anybody to encourage us. I've been asked many times, they're like, Willow, you help everybody, but who helps Willow? And I'm like, exactly. I do. No, I do have several friends that I contact that are also healers. So if I do need help, I will contact them. But healers are the worst people to ask for help. I'm just going to tell you. We're like, nope, we got this. We're helping. If I can help everybody else, I can help myself. Right. But there are days that I do need that extra, But when I do need it, I will find like positive affirmations, or I'll listen to a good maybe a meditation or something like that that's
Right.
more positive, because meditation can heal us. There's also, like, I work with binaural beats, like meditations like that, and subliminal meditations that are using those positive affirmations behind the music. And so
Right.
our unconscious mind is what is going to help heal our bodies.
Exactly.
So, and there's all kinds of things. I found one to heal hernias the other day. So
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
so yeah, and I have one. So I'm listening to this and I'm feeling better from it. I don't know if it's completely healing it, but it's making me feel stronger. Maybe my body is kicking in and doing it self-healing. So,
Right.
there's multiple ways you can heal yourself and help heal others.
Right. And I think even when you are healing someone, I think like even the next day, yeah, you may be tired and exhausted, but then I think that the next day you feel more empowerment because you're like, God, I did really well for that person, or you did really good. So it gives you more of an encouragement to do good and to do more for people to help them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that even helps a lot in this whole thing. So yeah. So anyways, but they have still, like, of course, yoga, mindfulness. They have so many things of healing. And I want to get back to crystals. Now, crystals are amazing on their self. And I love wrapping crystals. And one of my favorite crystals is an amethyst. And amethyst is one of my favorite ones. And I do not know why, but I'm very attracted to it. And I talk very positive, and I use it a lot of times for healing. So, I
Uh-huh.
mean, what is like one of your favorite?
Um, well, it just depends. I have some beautiful phantom crystals, some generator crystals. They're all quartz, of course. I
Mhm.
do have my favorite stone, which is my Super 7.
Okay.
And that
Yes.
is, 7 different minerals all
There's
in
so
one. And
right, and the colors are amazing in a
yeah,
Super 7. They're
and
amazing, and
amethyst
it
is
does
part
help
of it.
spirit. Yep,
And it
it
has
is.
amethyst and citrine in it and crystal, quartz. So yeah, it's got multiples, and I love it. The
Do you
energy is
use
so
it?
powerful.
Do you use
Um,
it for the healing?
I wear it every day.
Yeah.
I have a very large pendant that I wear every day. Yes.
Nice, nice. Is that the one that you have on now? You
Yes.
have one on. Yeah. So yeah, do you use your crystals then for a lot of your healing process
Well,
stuff?
yes. When I do Reiki healing or shamanic healing, I always have crystals either under the table, or I will put them, like, if I know they're having emotional stuff, I'll lay something on their heart area, their heart chakra, anything that we can to help, with that extra energy. But
Mhm.
I always have them under the table no matter what. So I have very
Right.
large crystals that I put under the table just to help generate more energy in the
Exactly.
healing.
Exactly. If anybody wants to know, people should try to get some type of healing work done. It's amazing sometimes. I've had a shaman work on me once, and it was just once I got off that table, it was remarkable. I felt like a whole different person. And honestly, I was having a lot of trouble and blockage and stuff like that, and he really did help me a lot. So people should just try it, even if they you know, believe in certain things and they don't believe, just go to the right person. If you feel good energy from a shaman or a healer or energy, if you feel like if you connect it, it helps. It really does help. So
Oh yeah.
people should try it. Anyways, let me see if there's any more questions. I've been healed once, sleeping once. That's what Sherry said. Stevie says, do you ever feel drastically drained of energy after healing, Willow?
No, actually, I feel like I get healed every time I heal someone else, and I probably am being that way, because when I'm pulling that universal energy into my crown chakra, it's going into my body first.
Oh, that's
So,
true.
my wiring is picking up on all that energy, and then I'm sending it out. And that was the other reason I went with Reiki, because it does not drain you like the
Mm-hmm.
shamanic healing would drain me. I would be
Okay.
using my own energy. And like you said, you're tired the next day because you're using
Right.
your own energy to help heal another person. You're giving of yourself.
True.
And with Reiki, it's allowed us to become the conduit, but not using our physical body's energy. because
Right.
we don't need to drain our batteries, because if we're drained, how are we going to help anybody else?
Exactly.
So I don't anymore, and that's because I use the Reiki to recharge me continuously while I'm
Okay.
doing the healing work.
Now for clients, how many clients do you usually do for Reiki healing, or when you do clients? Do you have like a limited?
Well, I do one at a time. So
Okay.
basically, they'll schedule an hour to an hour and a half. I like
Okay.
the hour and a half because I'll do a reading for them. We'll talk to see if there's
Nice.
emotional healing that needs to also be done with this.
Okay.
And then we get on the table. So basically, you're on the table for about an hour.
Okay.
But we also have like time to do a reading. But I like to do that because I like to spread them out as well. Because if that person, once we're done with the healing, maybe they're releasing a lot of emotional stuff and they want to cry,
Right.
well, I give them that time. I never rush anybody out the door. So,
Exactly.
and I do a few healings a month. I don't do a lot,
Okay.
but I do the distance healing as well. And a lot of my
Right.
clients are long distance, especially right now. So
Right.
for me, I do a lot of, private clients, but mostly it's virtual since
Right.
COVID hit.
Exactly. Exactly. Let me see if I can get through these. Sherry says I've been healed once. Sherry says I feel more energy after healing others. Also, Sherry, you do healing? I was just asking. Anytime we pay attention to others, it helps. Yes, it does, Karen. That's
Yep.
Karen. Karen also says if our intentions are good. Yes, absolutely, Karen. Especially when your intentions are good. This was amazing. We only have this went by fast. I have to say, you guys. We're at 5:50. I mean 7:57. So
Yep.
let's see. Yes, Reiki. She does Reiki healing too. Sherry does. That's why she's asking all
Nice.
these really cool questions, Sherry. That's why. Anyways, thank you guys. I just want to say thank you guys. It's about the end of the show, of course. We got 2 minutes. Anything else you want to share with us, Willow, before we close this out?
If anybody is interested in learning more, I'm always open to answering questions. You can go ahead and reach me through my website, willowlamashant.com. There's my email and everything right there. You can text me through the number on there. And
Awesome.
I'm always open to helping others.
There you go. There you go, guys. Get in touch with Willow. Anyway, so I just want to say thank you, Sarge, for having us and helping us out, like always. Thank you to the troops. Thank you, Para X. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming and listening to me and Willow. And I hope Jerry will be back with us next week. We'll see you guys tonight. Later. Wednesday. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.